The following content has been provided by New St. Andrews College in Moscow, Idaho. For more information, visit us online at nsa.edu.
Hear the world calling, but son, don't you listen. They're only trying to drag you back into prison, that's right.
Welcome back to the Christmas game film, what have you. I'm Rachel Jankovic.
I'm Becca Merkel.
And we're done with Christmas. And
Ooh,
so are you.
Hurrah. I left my house a carnage of dead pine needles because I took down a tree. And as I left, I had two girls shoveling it into a garbage bag. And then when I get home, all the dead needles, because
get
it
the
was
daffodils
dead.
out,
It was
and when you get
double
home.
dog dead. Our tree was not at all fresh and living anymore.
Ours was still alive. But nonetheless, December 26th, we shot it out the door. Because when you're really trying to clean up, it gets to a place I'm like, this is no longer a savory looking thing.
No.
I'm not uptight about our ornaments. So, Moses has been rearranging quite a number of the ornaments on the bottom of the tree. He, because he helped decorate it, so he takes them off and hangs them in different places. So, it was looking kind of scattershot as a decorative thing.
Yeah.
So, it was kind of just, I was done looking at it.
Well,
I was
and ours,
I feel finished.
We put it up early this year because, Thanksgiving was early, and we did it the weekend after Thanksgiving, which is when we normally do it. But then it died pretty early on, and then the branches got lower and lower, so they were sort of encasing the ornaments within them.
Starting to be a Debbie Downer of a tree.
Yeah, and here's my final Christmas tip.
Throwing literal shade on the ornaments.
My Christmas tip that will be all until next year, because I have to take a moment to say ha ha ha. I put away all my ornaments today with my system that you mocked.
Her
Mercilessly
system, but your
mocked.
system is like 12 layers of complications beyond what it needs to be.
No, it is so fabulous, and every year when I put it back, I just feel like, yes, they told me I was dumb, but I was right. This is the 7th year, Rachel. The 7th.
Tell people, aren't there photos taped on the bins of your ornaments?
No, they're not. And this is, maybe we already talked about this. Did we already talk about this once?
Vegas off-the-chain ornament storage devices.
I love it. I love it a lot.
I don't get it. I don't understand the need.
I will tell you, everyone. Choose you this day. I went out to Walmart, this is the 7th year that I had done it.
7 years ago, yeah.
7.
It's one of the only...
I bought a bunch of new clipped together bins, because mine were really reckless looking and overstuffed, and your collection of things grows. It actually grew quite a lot because we moved to England. We couldn't take any of our ornaments, and so we came back with a bunch of England ornaments. And anyway, all this to say, I just went out one year and I bought all fresh ones that stack and clip together in some big Rubbermaid bins, right? Then I loaded them all up in a sensible fashion. And then I just took a picture.
And then, folks, she overpackaged.
No, I didn't.
She overpackaged her own Christmas ornaments.
No, this is genius. I took a picture of the top of the bin, and then I just dumped it into a little document that I had. A picture of the bin. And it has, here's the silver reindeer and the silver snowflekes. And in this other one,
I would like to insert
candy
my
canes.
own flat face emoticon.
I
don't care if it has your little silver reindeer in it.
And then I have one that is the heirloom ornaments that I always put on the tree myself because they were my grandmother's and they were from her childhood. And she gave them to us.
I don't have any of those.
Well, she gave them to us the first year we were married.
Yeah, you and that's
anyway,
different.
so they've always been on the tree and they're really old. And so I have, and it's some of the ones we bought for our first Christmas together. I have those in one bin and I'm the one that hangs those. But
Super precious.
But then, she's being snotty, guys. But then, this is the smart part. I have one little bin for each kid for their ornaments. And I can't remember whose is which, because our mom gives them a new one every year, and I can't keep track of these things. And so
I'll raise my hand as being the person who never even tried to keep track of the ornaments.
But When we're decorating the tree, we put all the normal ones on, and then it's like, here's your bin of your ornaments, you go put them on, and then at the end of the time, I put them back in their own little bins. And this is why it's so smart, people. Because if I want to know where are the Christmas tablecloths, I don't have to pop the lid off of every single bin and have a rummage to see what's in the bottom of it, because it might be
Because
poinsettias.
you
It might
could just reference your document.
which is what I do, and
Which
I love it.
See,
I love it.
That is the weirdest thrill to me.
It's not
No.
a thrill. It is.
Whoops.
Oh,
We've just been avalanched from the
all
top
the snow
of the...
fell
yeah.
off. Anyway, here's the thing. I didn't tape photos on the outside of the bins. All I did was put a number on the outside of each bin, a sticker with a number on it.
Is there a notebook?
No. there's
Where's
not a
the
notebook.
printed out sheets of pictures?
Well, those are lost, but thankfully I have them in my computer.
But they were laminated, weren't
No,
were
they weren't.
not?
They were in plastic sleeve protectors,
okay.
so that they could be down in the basement where all the plaster falls on them and everything. I don't know where they are right now, but I popped
Okay.
open my computer. I looked it up. I packed it away, just as organized as that first year, and it makes me so happy. So happy,
And I'll
guys.
tell you my system. I have Christmas bins that have clear sides. So if a Christmas tablecloth was stuffed within one, I could easily tell which one it was.
Mine.
Then the next step is I only put the ornaments, get this, because this is how tasteless I am,
Okay.
in Ziploc bags. I load one up with one kind of things and I
Do you
seal
have
the
no
top.
breakable? Is nothing
I
breakable?
do have breakable, but
In Ziploc bags?
pretty much, yeah. Sometimes, if necessary, I maybe would put some tissue in there, but I never do that. So then I load it all up in the bin, and I put away. Whole process, start to finish, was like, I don't know, 11 seconds. Seemed very minimal. Very not painful, because I only have a couple bins of Christmas stuff.
Me too.
Yeah,
It's
so I
great.
don't need any, laminated manuals to my way around the bins.
I love
I've
it.
never yet
I
been
love it.
lost inside the Christmas bins.
Oh, yes, because you're like, where's the exterior lights? I don't know. Is it in that big green one or in the red? Because you don't always put up your exterior lights right at the same time.
No, but I do have a bad habit of usually throwing
Yeah,
away
I know.
the lights.
Well, see, I told you guys, choose you this day. Whose
if the
system
lights
do
are
you
not
like?
working, we dog them. We're like,
Well,
we're
I
done
do
here.
too. I do
so
too,
I
but
feel like that usually
I
happens.
took them
So,
down
yeah.
and they were working, and I put them
Yeah,
back in the
pressure's
bin.
on.
I put them, in fact, in the bin that I know is interior lights.
As much as this is a captivating discussion, I
I'm
do
just saying it,
I
guys.
do think that we could probably move on. I always mean to go buy the lights right now, like when they're 70% off at Michael's, which they are right
Are
now.
they? That
yeah.
would be smart.
Yep. I always have that intention, but I
Anyway,
didn't.
now that I've packed all that away, I don't want to talk about it or think about it until next year after Thanksgiving.
when you can have another little bout of
I
self-righteousness.
will have a little bout of
We
self-congratulation.
look forward to Becca's
Yep.
bout of self-righteousness every year.
Well, if they hadn't mocked me so hard, then I wouldn't make a deal of it. But they did.
Yep.
They mocked and they
Oh,
scoffed.
I still can't get on board with this idea. But I know that we have listeners out there who love themselves a good Excel spreadsheet.
I
They're
hate
thinking,
Excel spreadsheets.
Yeah, but
This is not an Excel spreadsheet.
no, but they're probably thinking if only they could give their garage coordinates and make a and make a document that told them that G8 is where you can find. You're
I love
giving
it.
people a great idea.
It's a big win for me
So
every
many
year.
of you, I saw so many people making Bushton Wells. I just love it. That it was
I
like
do
a
too.
Bushton Well
Did everyone,
resurgence.
hold on, did everyone visit Instagram to see Rachel's boosh? Because
The boosh that booshed
You-
too hard. It booshed so hard.
you should go find it on Instagram. It's excellent.
It was like, how long was it?
6 feet?
It was
not.
not 6 feet. It was
Five?
probably 5.
It
5
was
foot long.
long.
We bought a 1x10 board to put it on because we have no platters. Last year I put it on in like 2 different serving basket trays, and I just made 2. But I remembered that we had 2, and it was all the way gone. Like it was, everybody ate some, but it was not quite as much as we should have had. So this year I made 3, which was great because the third one I just used pieces of the third one to make the little branches and stumps sticking off of it. And it wasn't a full 3 length. It was like 2.5 plus the stumps.
Right.
And then all the mushrooms but that actually is a really good recipe because it is not. It's good and chocolatey and tasty, but it's not.
But it was light.
It doesn't
lovely.
come off like a. You don't feel like
really
you
good.
just ate a tub of Dunkin'
But anyway,
Hines.
everyone should go find that picture because it was an astonishing amount of food.
Yeah, so we drove to Mom's with it suspended on the dash of our car, like
guarding the mushrooms.
Luke and I each had a hand on it, holding the big board of Bouche de Noël nonsense. But it did exactly what I said.
Good.
Bizarre Christmas showmanship that our kids already. This is only our 2nd year of doing this, and our kids are locked in that this is what happens.
Great.
Like this
It was
is
great.
the scene, and I was just hating it that I had not thought to buy clear edible like food glitter to put on the powdered sugar so it would look more like snow. So next year that's on the list.
Edible food glitter.
Yeah, next year. And this year I also was quite pleased with the success of the scalloped potatoes, which for some reason, that's a basic thing that has eluded me.
Did you use the Ina Garten one?
No, I didn't use a recipe.
What did you use?
My own wit. No, I did. I found someone make the comment, and it was like, that's the info I needed. That was, because all of the recipes, like Ina Garten, everyone is making it for like 4 people. And then it becomes really a monster when you're trying to like change the size of the pans and the size of the whatever. And I read somewhere, someone say, just make sure that the cream comes a third of the way up the side of the potatoes.
Oh, isn't that a win?
And I was like,
happens?
bless your heart, this person who told me this news is what I needed.
Yeah.
So I had my huge prep bowl out, and all of the potatoes sliced thin, and I put them all. They were all submerged in cold water because russet potatoes weirdly do that. Well, brown are like red, like weird colors.
Yeah.
The juices.
It's not good.
And I had glass. I bought big glass pans because potatoes doing that weird reactive business that turns them like gray sometimes with like foil. Yeah. And only sometimes. You never know.
No, you don't.
You never know when the will take them to turn gray or blue. Like just the weirdest yucky color.
Yeah.
So I got the glass pans, and then I just poured cream cream in the bowl. And then I put a bunch of fresh thyme in it and some nutmeg and salt and pepper, and then just tasted the cream until I thought it was the right seasoning, but a little bit saltier because potatoes take up salt. Mm-hmm. So then I transferred them out into the pans, and then I just added some of the cream until it was a third of the way up.
Perfect.
And I put Gruyere and little butter knobs on top.
It was good.
But the part that thrilled me was that we baked them Saturday. I took them to Sabbath dinner just covered in saran wrap, and then we reheated them Monday, and they were great.
Yeah,
they were not good. They did not seem like old news.
No, they were great. Yeah. They were very good. I can vouch for it.
So now you all know that secret that it is a third of the way up the side, and it was like more than that, and it will be way too runny. Like they won't thicken up correctly. And less than that, they'll be dry. I was like, hello, that's the news I was waiting for my whole life.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Anyways,
awesome.
There's that.
Anyway, so guys, it's coming on to New Year's where we all feel like we're turning over a new leaf. When is it? 3 days out.
We're getting turned over. Something's happening. We're the time is coming. It's over.
You realize the magic.
I actually love New Year's.
The magic this year is that New Year's is on a Monday.
Wow, Becca, it's your ultimate. It's
my ultimate start a diet.
Start a diet on the right day.
It's a Monday,
first day of the
January
new week
1st.
and the new year and the new life.
The stars have aligned.
That's Becca. This is one of our personality differences. Becca,
aside from our Christmas ornament storage.
Becca likes to start things on the starting days.
I do.
I am a big believer in the do it now or you never will.
Yeah, well,
Wednesday afternoon is as good of a time to start a diet as any other time.
I kind of need to have erased the chalkboard nicely first. I need to let's just not be hasty. Let's think this through and let's start. But anyway, it's an alignment of everything, guys. So come Monday,
Becca's
there
gonna
I'll be.
finally have the year she's been waiting for. Because it's starting on a Monday. Whew!
It'll be
What
good.
a relief. So,
It will be great.
So about the new year, though, is about resolutions. And I was talking
And
with...
new planners. Somebody asked us about a planner.
I
and
feel
we
like
talked about
I
it.
feel like we either...
No,
maybe we talked in the
no,
one that got lost.
It was the one that we weren't recording. We talked at length
in the
about it.
salad episode.
Yeah, in the salad episode.
The salad kicking
Yeah,
show.
that one.
So in that one, anyways, the thing about planners and whatever is that it always comes down to doing it. No matter what you do to try to coordinate your efforts, it comes down to the actual doing of
but
things.
sometimes, if you have a planner, it inspires you to do it better.
This is the 80-20 rule. 20% of the time that happens, and we keep questing after it. Like
You're
that.
going to have to flesh out the 80-20 rule. Because
Okay, well,
you
the
told me one
80-20
time.
the 80-20 rule has a different name. It's like some phenomenon in life that is the 80-20 rule. That is like 20% of the time you do something that gets...
That works.
Well, okay, like if it pertains to shopping, 20% of your shopping efforts produce 80% of the results. Like sometimes you go out looking for clothes, you'll have that one time where you got 80% of it all, but the other 80% of your trips only cobbles together the remaining 20%. So it's kind of like 20% of the time your effort outputted gets 80% of the results.
Was this like basically somebody's batting average?
I
Like,
guess kind of.
How many times you hit it over the fence versus
I think the thing is though that
how many times you strike out?
No, this is the thing that I say this a lot about dieting anyways. There are times in your life when the thing that actually made you feel better was eating some food.
I think those are a lot of times in life. I think that's about 3 times a day.
No, I'm talking about like emotional eating. They're like rare.
Oh, sure.
They're not in the actual just regular meal
Where
time.
it really
but like,
hit the spot.
Like where you maybe are feeling really weirdly emotionally unsteady and things are rough, and then you had a
cheese
mocha.
soup did
Yeah, or you had a mocha and it was like, oh, it's gonna be okay. I've got it all. But then we keep trying that trick all the time, hoping that it will do it, and a bunch of the time it doesn't. Or like drinking coffee. There's some of the time that it really is totally...
Basically, it's the first 4 sips of the day.
That's
then,
magical.
Yeah,
and then
you
after
keep
that,
on
you
going.
just... And then like...
Yeah.
But it can be in the middle of the afternoon and you're starting to get lockjaw and you're still pouring yourself a cup of coffee because you're hoping that it's going to change things for you, and it's not. That, I don't know, it's that
So why...
thing.
tie this
I'm
back
saying
in?
that sometimes there's those little moments of success lead us to pursue things harder than like it's true that some of the time having a good planner actually accelerated something, but you can keep going back to the planner as though it's going to do that for you.
No, that's true, but it's also true that like if you have a busy life and tons of things to remember and keep track of, my particular system that I end up with is not an effective one, which is millions of post-it notes in my brain, and that's the only place that they are. And that is actually strangely ineffective.
I'm not...
And so the thing is like, if you actually find a system whereby you can remember your appointments and
so I don't
keep
like
track of everything,
I don't
then
like
that actually will help you to do a better job.
Yeah, I don't like my phone. I don't like putting things on my phone, and I do way better with paper. But my life now is not one where I always have my school bag with me and a notebook, or that I always have and so it turns out.
The thing is, though, she's reading a text, guys. Anyway,
sorry,
that's
I
why
was
she
just
lost her
checking.
train of thought.
No, I was saying that is hard. Like now, I am not sitting at a desk or whatever all the time, and so I actually realized that for my personality, my brain, the way I like it best is paper planning. Yeah. So what I realized makes a big difference is if I just focus on sitting down every day with my notebook to look at it, that actually does way more for me being effectively planned than anything else does.
Because you can put together a Supremo planner and then never get it out again.
Right, or like I make a full menu plan for the week and then I don't even know where it goes. I just go shopping with it and then it's gone for good.
But see, I don't, like,
But I remember it because I did it on paper, so it doesn't.
But if I plan the menu for the week and I get the stuff for that, then I very rarely do each thing on the day I thought I would.
Never.
Most of the time,
like,
you just
hardly ever.
You just know you have those meals, and so you pull them out when you feel like it. And so, but I just think that
I actually tend to make other things with the same ingredients.
In my ever hopeful quest, I always feel like I would like a good planner, and I have not found one that I want. Yeah. That's the problem, because they're either way
just buy
too
yourself
finicky.
a bin, take a picture of it.
Would you all like to hear me graciously answer a snotty comment?
Too bad they missed that chance. If only you could have. It would have been a great example to everyone.
No, see, here's the thing.
Oh my goodness.
People, here's what am I about to do your storybook Bible comment? I might.
Oh, Becca's gotta be rude.
I'm gonna be rude, guys. Here's what I don't understand. I don't understand the kind of lifestyle that can turn your planner into basically a daily scrapbooking operation. Like, because I feel like if you have so much time in your day that you can cut out little cutesy things and paste them on and color code and add stickers and little stuff.
It might come down to how fast you are with stickers.
No, but like if you have that much time,
what if you have your stickers stored conveniently in a bin and you just have to reference your little document?
No, I just
you know right where the soccer ball sticker is.
Why?
So
why do you need a planner? Because you clearly have a lot of free time in your day.
Maybe you plan her for fun.
Well, that's what a lot of people do, because you see, like,
maybe
if you ever look at these planners, I'm like,
Becca, that would be such a good challenge for us to just be like, this week we're gonna try to actually scrapbook a planner and see how that goes. I like to see what would happen there.
It's clearly more of a hobby than it is an actual tool.
And I don't know. It might be because the reason that I'm going to be so much less judgy than you.
You are so judgy today.
The thing about
you are judgy pants today.
The thing about that is that what helps me when I'm writing things down and thinking about things is actually having my brain in the space. So I don't want to be using multicolored gel pens. I don't want to be getting out stickers, but I could see if someone said that they could get their brain into the space that way and it was more helpful.
I'm not talking about, I get it if it's like, no, I'm throwing a paper clip here and I'm putting a bookmark flag right there and I'm going to underline this other thing. I'm talking about, have you ever looked at these groups online? Because I haven't.
But I bet you $1 million that most people would feel that way about you fabricating your own tear-off pads of grocery lists. Which you do.
I do.
And it would be like, how can you not have anything else to do that you had to go buy? And somehow persuaded me to think I was making a tear-off pad, and I bought a little bottle of glycerin because I already had the gelatin, and I was like, of course I should make a tear-off pad.
Here's the thing.
Who doesn't need one of those? But this is my point, is that for many people that would feel exactly the same.
Of course it would, because but I never pretended that the tear-off pad was actually a time-saving project.
I bet you could have thought it was, because I bet you could have thought for you to like your notebook.
Yeah, no, that's
would
true.
Change your mood about the grocery plan.
But I'll tell you something else.
Yeah.
Every time I go tear out a little grocery list, I do. I love it.
So maybe for other people, every time they go to schedule a dentist appointment and they see their little tooth sticker, they're like, I'm so proud of myself for having that sticker on time and putting it where I wanted it.
I take it back, guys. I'm taking back all my judgy comments. But here's the thing, though. That's not my life. I need a planner that helps.
Let's go back to criticizing our own lives.
My life right now is a reckless junk drawer of doom when it comes to how I remember what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And I have this sort of, there's this gold pot at the end of the rainbow hope that I'm going to come up with a good planner system.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell you my thoughts on the new year. I was talking with a friend, ran out to lunch with a friend the other day, which was like, that's just so bizarrely vacationing. We never do that kind of thing. It's very fun. We were just talking about goals and, like, what are the plans?
Right.
And one of the things that came up was, so we're both doing the Bible reading challenge, and I got woefully behind over Christmas, like weirdly behind. Weird because I keep thinking I would it was just weird. I was behind, but I'm all caught up now, so it's good.
Good.
But we were talking about that, and I said, you know that verse, and I'm not even sure where it is, so, but draw near unto him, and he will draw near unto you.
Okay.
Right? That whole concept, how many of us know that to be the case, that you're reading your Bible, that you're praying, and that the rewards for that are so monumental in the fact of like when you really are walking with God and you are doing this work that is really just a discipline, a Christian discipline of like, I will do this. And when you know how good it is and what great results it has, why are we so easily distracted from that? Like, how is it that when we know, like why is it not drinking coffee in the morning that I forget to do for a while? Like, you don't do that. You're never like, I got to get back in the groove of getting a cup of coffee in the morning. Right. Like, you don't need help with that. You just do it. And it strikes me as a thing where we were talking about this, and I said, yeah, but the reality is that all of this is a big topic, but the devil has no interest in keeping me from my coffee or keeping me from, like, the flesh and the devil really don't give a rip about many things, but being in the Word and being in fellowship with God, they do. That is a thing that matters. And I was laughing with her about one of my favorite quotes that has always tickled me, is that one about be the kind of woman that when your feet hit the floor in the morning, the devil says, oh crap, she's up. I'm just like, yes, goals, life goals. And you think of it, if you enjoy Screw Tape Letters, that, like, if you think of it in those kinds of terms, like, be weighty opposition. Like, don't be the kind of person that doesn't matter whether or not you're doing anything.
The enemy doesn't need to waste their time on you.
Right, exactly. Like, don't be the kind of person that the enemy just really doesn't care one way or the other what's going on. And you think, okay, so like, that's a goal, life goal right there. We would like to be having the devil being like, dang it, another day. That'd be great. So here, the thing my point though was that, so the fact that there is actual spiritual resistance to you being in the Word is an indicator of how important it is. Not, whatever. Anyways, the point is I have all these things I want to be better at, that when I look at my life and I'm like, holy smokes, like, I have a very long list of things. I'm like, I need to be more disciplined about this thing. I need to be more disciplined about this. I need to do this differently, and I need to do this. You know, like, it's a long list and it's an overwhelming list. But the thing that I think is the only one that actually matters is being in the Word and praying and focusing on that. And the reason is because I don't actually think the devil cares one way or another how well my laundry is going. Like, or how... Like all those things are good things. But all those things are good things to spend my time and I'm not saying they're not important. I'm saying they're not the place to exert all of your self-discipline.
No, not all of it, for sure. That should be downstream.
But I think, and then it reminds me of pottery. When you're shaping something on a potter's wheel, you don't do it, you don't grab the thing that's moving on the potter's wheel. You can exert, like with a rib or with your fingernail or with whatever. You can touch one place and hold one place, and the shape of the whole thing changes. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that none of my other work matters or I shouldn't try to improve on any of those things. I'm saying that trying to improve on those things will only be done by increased discipline. You know, like, if you try to grab the whole thing, it collapses. Like, if you're like, every single thing has to tighten up and improve and do whatever. Anyways, this is because I have had things that I've wanted to do for a long time that I have failed to get into my regular daily habit, but I meant to do. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, so I have, like, one of the things is I will read my Bible every day, and then I have that Kenneth Boa book, Handbook to Prayer, that's really good.
Okay.
And it is like praying scripture, so it's just like a help to pray. But it will be like a scripture passage, and then it will say you know, like it will have like a thing in italics saying use this to thank God for the blessings in your life. Like, so
Sure.
it is like you're reading scripture and then filling in,
Yeah.
like, you know, as you go. And it's wonderful. But it like takes an additional little minute to do, like it takes a little bit more. Or I want to write prayers. I want to write out prayers for my kids. And I have a thing where I have the notebooks with a rubber band on them. So I was like, if I have one for each kid, if I do one a day and then move them to the back of the pile, so you really are like once a week writing a prayer out.
I'm just not taking this opportunity. I'm just letting it go
Yeah,
past.
don't take it.
I'm
Well,
just letting
I'm
it go
telling
past
you the
there.
thing I've not done. But this is the thing is I've not done it, but I know it would be spiritually profitable.
Yeah,
It
right.
would be good. I know it would bless my children. I know it is the thing I should be like.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I don't do it because it's like when, or I don't have a pen, or I wasn't sitting there. It's like the dumbest little things.
Oh yeah.
So,
I feel like a lot of the time just having a place, like a little bit of a, like liturgy is the wrong word, but kind of a liturgy.
routine.
Like, this is
Yeah.
where I sit, and I actually like to go sit there. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
this is an enjoyable place for me to go sit down and
Right.
whatever. Like, having those, well, this ties back to the planner. I think it's like when you have a thing that makes it something you look forward to,
Yes.
rather than this kind of scattered, oh, I was going to try and get
But
that done.
also it's a catch-22 because doing it is what makes you look forward to it, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it's one of those things that half of it is just doing it so that you can figure out, because I was talking about this, I have a chair, which is where I sit but there's a lot of other traffic. We have what we call the art desk over there. So
Yeah.
kids are always getting into stuff over there. So there's a lot of other things happening
Right.
there. And I was like, maybe a basket or something that just has my Bible and
Just
pens
has your
and
stuff,
like this is
yeah.
just my stuff. So I'm trying that, but I'm not holding out all hope that will make it all come together for me. But I also like if it's just the challenge of thinking, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to see, and I can change the method if it's not working. If I'm doing it, I'll know what's not working.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah,
difficult.
exactly.
You know, like, oh, I can never find my pen. I need to chain it to the basket so that the kids can't take it away and replace it.
Right.
Yeah, anyways, all of this, I just think I was just coming back to I have a whole lot of goals and a lot of things that need to be done and a lot of places that require just like what seems like, you know how tempting it is to be like, it's a new year, so this year I'm going to need
That's awkward. That's
Because-
just my phone.
phone. It's like this year I'm going to be way more awesome. I'm going to wake up early and require less sleep. I'm going to have more energy and
Yeah.
be better.
I'm going to be a different person.
I'm going to be a totally other person.
I'm going to have different skill sets.
because after all, this
Come
year starts on a
Monday.
Monday. Yeah. and that is the thing is that it's so tempting to write everything in a really unrealistic kind of like, this
yeah.
is my, I'm going to lose 30 pounds and run a marathon and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And you're like, nothing good is going to come of that kind of unrealistic.
Well, but sometimes they're not unrealistic. There's nothing wrong with somebody, trying to lose 30 pounds. But
No, I didn't mean that. I'm talking about the attitude of writing down like almost mythic proportions
Yes.
of New Year's
Yes.
plans. It's kind
Exactly.
of like, really, have you not been working hard? Because that's
see,
a thing that I face sometimes.
and I think the thing is, I do not feel like I need to work harder because
You need to work smarter.
But I do. I feel like there's a lot of ways that we could make this whole thing more streamlined. Because, yeah, there's just...
Well, I started working on that. I've worked on that from time to time about routines, like where I was like, okay, I need to evaluate my routines because like an example is that I could sweep my house 5 times a day and come up with stuff every time.
Oh, yeah.
Like always. And I was like, I think I need to like decide on the size of the hamster wheel for every project.
Mm-hmm.
Because what's the ultimate, like if I sweep twice a day, will the house always seem pretty decent?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but if you get into that feeling of that this is just a frantic thing where we're just always have to sweep and I always have to do this,
Yeah.
it also makes it so that you don't bend over and pick up that twisted tie because you're like, I already have to sweep the whole house again anyways. You know what I mean? Like, so you don't, I don't know. These are the things that I try to work on. It's like, how can I change my routines because I know I am working hard. Like, I know that, and I know I can't just throw out a goal of being like...
No, you can't throw out a goal. Well,
my goal plan is to be a new and better person tomorrow.
Right.
Like, well, good luck with that one.
Yeah, it's probably not super realistic. But there is something I think nice about a new year where it is a sort of, we don't do resolutions because I think, I mean, not resolutions
you don't
where
have
you're
a planner to put them in.
No, I just mean like where you're vowing something for the year, because what is the verse about? It's better to not vow than to vow and not pay.
Or
It's
I
like-
thought you were gonna say, "Let not him who puts on his armor boast
boast
like him who takes it off." It's better
Which
to
is
be
like
like,
our
"Oh, it's the end of this year."
No, but
These are the things we actually accomplished that we meant to do.
I don't
this year.
mind saying we're gonna try
Oh, I think it's healthy
for this and that.
I think it's a healthy
that's great.
thing to
But I
evaluate.
don't think the sort of vowing things is wise.
Right.
You know,
because
like binding yourself
who
with
are
oaths.
you promising this to?
Yeah, because it's like, don't be the kind of person that is always doing that and then breaking your word. You know,
Right,
like it's
yeah.
just better to. So I guess I think of resolutions as a little bit more of a like, here I stand, I can do no other kind of thing, and that's not what I'm wanting to do.
You think of that as
But-
being a resolution?
No, like here I am tomorrow. I'm going to run 3 miles, and I am going
Yeah.
to get all the. You know, like I don't
I should tell my running story. Speaking of that, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Finish your.
feel free.
No, you finish your thing about you don't think of resolutions. As
I
being
just
out.
mean like I think there's something really nice about a new year and a fresh start, and like I'm gonna try some new
it's
stuff.
healthy to evaluate
It's
your
really
goals
nice.
and what's the point.
And it's really nice right after Christmas because it's such a crescendo at the end of the year. And it's just nice to like come down from that, and it's like, okay, we've got a big stretch of road ahead with just not really anything
This is
on
the
the
boring
calendar,
part.
and we're
This
just
is
gonna
the
try
boring
and
part.
establish some new routines.
Yeah.
But I don't like make giant promises and
No,
vows.
yeah. I think it's healthy to think about, okay, what do I want to be this year? What is my
Yeah.
goal this year? That kind of thing I think is good. But I actually think that that's a Christian practice all the time.
Yeah.
It's not like once a year. It's something that you should be evaluating all the time. Like, what should I be doing differently? How should I be
Right.
preparing better for this? What should I, like, that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's an ongoing.
Yeah. So go ahead with your running story.
Oh, okay. So this morning, my husband and I decided to go on a run. And it's snowy out here, so I don't have a lot of depth of running wardrobe, but most of my things that I would wear running are like 3/4 length pants. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like shorter leggings. Well, it's snowy. You don't want to run through the snow in that. So I rustle out the world's most obnoxious pair of leggings that really are designated as only desperado pajamas at my house. They are not things that I wear out on the town. And wool socks. So they're red, white, and blue leggings. These like teal aqua wool socks pulled up over them, and then like hot pink and white running shoes. Luckily, the rest of the ensemble I put together was just black. It was not. That was just the obscenity down below, was all the colors and the whatever. But Luke is wearing like black tights under his shorts and then these multicolored socks with this. So I almost made him promise me we would not see anyone. I was like, I'll go with you, but if you can swear to me that no one will see us while we do this. And
Speaking of vows
that you
should
can't
vow.
keep. Oh, I
Yeah.
did wear a blue hat. Anyways, out we go. We run. It was fun. We were having a good time. Nobody cares what we're wearing. It was fine. It didn't matter. And we get into the University of Idaho campus, which is totally desolate. Like, not a solitary human anywhere. And we're running. It's probably like a little more than a mile out in our run. And we're running up this long, slow hill. So it's a arduous hill. And up ahead of us, there's one guy on the sidewalk, and he keeps whipping around to look at us. And it was like really funny because it made us feel way slower than like he thought we were going to be passing him, but we're like still a long way behind. And then I was like, we're not that fast, because he keeps looking over his shoulder to check on us. But when we get to him, he springs a map on us, and we realize he's lost. He is a brand new to the United States electrical engineering grad student. So he's an international student from India, and has never seen snow before, and is alone on campus in the snow and doesn't know how to get home. Like, he does not know his way home, and he has a big map with him, but he can't tell where anything is on the map. Like, he doesn't know where he is on the map, but he doesn't know. He knows he's looking for Lauder Street, which is near our house, so we did know where that was. And so Luke explains it to him. He's like, you just go straight down to where the road tees, and he's like, and then you're going to turn right, and then you stay on this road into the end, and then you're going to turn left. Like, you know, it was a couple turns, but it was pretty basic.
Yeah.
And then he would be like, so where do I go? So we were like, so Luke kept going. He's like, let me show you on a map. He walked him through it. He's like, he told him the directions like probably 4 times, like several times. Like, this is, you're good. You just go this way. We're like, okay. He shakes his hand, and we start running, and he starts running with us. And he's not in running clothes. He was not out for a run. But he's like trying to keep up with us. Like, we're like, he must really be lost. Like, he must be really trying to hang on to the hope of someone who knows their way out of this campus. so we're like, we'll just walk. So we, because it's so funny that he just joined us. And like, we have such magnetic personalities. We just go out running and gather people with us on our run. It's like a musical. So he anyways, we walk with him, but he, oh my word, it was just a hoot, because we asked him about the snow. He's like, he's the first time ever seen it in his life. And Luke's like, well, have you eaten any? And his eyes just like huge. And so Luke's trying to like explain it, like, he's like, you know, clean snow, not like the stuff on the street. And so he leans over and grabs some from this just like pristine bed of snow. You know, like, you can tell that there have, you know, it's fine. Luke grabs a handful. He said, this guy looks like he's like gonna pass out. We're like, we're like laughing, and then we couldn't figure out why he was so weirded out by it. Like, we're like, it's just water, it's just ice. And then Luke said, and then he thought, I think he maybe thought we said rice. And then Luke was like, kind of like rice. I mean, like, whatever. We're going into the snow is just like rice territory. And then, but we thought later, maybe he thought that Luke was like gonna feed him some snow or something. Like, we don't know what he was so scandalized about. Except for I was thinking maybe in India you would never eat anything off the ground at all. Even though it was not, to people familiar with snow, this was a very not questionable snow sourcing that Luke did. It was not like what my children do sometimes, where you're like, no, a thin coat of fresh snow on top of the plowed drift. No, not it.
No,
don't
but
eat that.
Don't you remember the sensation of lying down in a snowbank somewhere, just kind of,
just
kind of like eating the snow off your mittens?
Oh yeah,
and
you're like, I have some snow clods here. I might get some like wool fiber in there. Yeah,
you get like wool in your mouth,
or the taste of mitten.
But
is
that
a
was,
thing that we all know.
This is because we used to wear knitted mittens, and
yeah,
like,
but
my kids have never worn a knitted mitten in
no,
their
but
life.
the taste of mitten is probably still the same.
Probably,
if you were
like,
eating snow off of it wouldn't be the wool fiber, but it would be something. Yeah, but it was so funny because he was just like, it was quite a surreal time that we had with him. So we walked him home. But the thing is these horrific leggings that I was wearing. And I got myself tickled on Facebook. Somebody said, even your crazy leggings. I was like, no, these are my special USA ambassador pants that I wear these out when looking for internationals that need help.
See, I know this from when we were living in England. Every person that you encounter is speaking on behalf of their whole nation.
Yes, I felt very sensitive about what I was saying about my country folk
today. One person says something, and you're like, well, English people all whatever.
Right.
And then you think how appalled we would be if just random Americans were speaking for us. But it's like, it's almost impossible to not read it through that
like
grid.
What we all do all the time is eat Chef Boyardee. Always. You'd be like, no, we don't. No, what are you saying?
Yeah, but the thing is, like, it's very, like, when you have a very limited experience of it, you just, that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Now
so
you know.
I felt a little vulnerable about that I had shared with him.
Now.
That's what American women look like. That's what we do.
They run around
They
eating
run
snow.
around and eat snow, and it's really weird, but that's what they do. It was a good time. It was a good.
No, I drew some very inaccurate conclusions over my time in England.
And it
but I had
takes
to
some
go
time
back,
to like sort it out.
Yeah,
probably.
I had to go back and take it back. Like, I'd be like, everyone, remember when I told you about how they do it in England? Yeah, I made that up. They
It
don't.
turns out that did not come from a reliable source.
Yeah.
That is funny.
Anyway, well, the really good one was this one moment where we had a joint fusion of these events, because I was in an English grocery store, and it was like in the first few weeks I'd been there, and it was this tiny little grocery store. So in Oxford, it was like this little mini mart, but I didn't know about the big supermarkets that were sort of outside of town. So I thought this was their grocery store. And I'm like,
This is
are
the
you
whole
kidding
thing.
me? Like, they sell individually packaged chicken breasts.
Is this where
What
the
is
1
happening?
pound bags of flour came from?
Well, even there, they don't do big bags of flour. But they were, yeah, everything was super tiny and everything. And then in the grocery cart had the pole welded onto it, like, so you can't get it out of the store. And I see those around here now, but at the time I'd never encountered that here. So I was like, what's with this pole? Like, you're parading around with like a flagpole on your cart. Like, what is happening? And at the checkout, Ben asked, so what's this pole here for? And the lady tells me, she goes, well, you know how they do it in America. And I was like, how do they do it in America? And she says, well, everyone takes their trolley and throws it in the river. And I was like,
It just adds an extra step.
what do they do now?
it
And
adds-
she was like, so we put the pole on it so that you can't take your trolley and throw it in the river.
And you're like, yes, it adds this cumbersome step to my shopping every time. I'm at Winco, and then I have to tie this thing onto the roof of the car, and I
have to go
and I have to
throw it
go
in the
find a
river.
bridge somewhere and chuck it.
But I was so stumped, like, you're preventing me from throwing this in the river? Like, like the way I would normally at home.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
it was good. But I just enjoyed
One
that.
of my
then
hobbies.
I then believed that all trolleys in England had these poles welded on so that you wouldn't throw it in the river. And she believed that everyone in America throws it in the river. So it
But did you ever tell her that was not
well,
so?
and then the other thing we did, and people who live in England, I'm sure will get this, but you have to put a little pound in sometimes to get the trolley out of the.
Well, then you own it, and you have to throw it in the river.
Yeah, exactly, because you bought it for
paid
a pound.
for it.
You slide your little pound in, and it like unlocks it, so you can take the trolley. And I was like, "Are you joking? Like, they're charging me £1 to use the stupid? Like, no,
Yeah.
I shall not." So we were being all like, "Nope, we're taking the double stroller through the grocery aisles because." Because we don't want to pay £1.
Is it just like your deposit?
Yeah, you get it back. But we religiously never used them.
What's with these pricey trolleys?
The pricey trolley that has a pole on it anyway. By the time we got it sorted out, but this was the first, we were there for only a summer and we were on foot in Oxford. So I never did find the big supermarket, and I resolutely used my stroller. When we moved over there for good, that's when I figured it out. I found out, they actually have grocery stores.
Well, that's a lot more reasonable.
Like
of you.
everybody, remember how I said there's no grocery stores in England? Yeah, I made
found
that
one.
up.
I found one.
I
That's
found
good.
it, and it's a normal size. It's not exactly a super Walmart,
Oh
but
my
you
word,
know.
I love that you standing fast on the not making a
standing
deposit.
fast. No.
Make no deposits for
No.
trolleys ever on
I
the
won't.
principle. It's
And
it's kind of like no taxation without representation.
Yeah, like I'm not doing
Yeah.
this, guys. Like
Yeah.
I come from the land of the free and the
Tea
home
Party.
of the brave.
I come from the stock of the Boston Tea Party, and I'm not gonna pay you for the use of this.
Well, and then
Really
for months,
getting out your best
No,
Americana
for
there.
months, I believed that they did not have powdered sugar in England, and I was very annoyed at the whole nation because I was like, "What do you do, guys? What do you do?" And I had searched the aisle, no powdered sugar. I had asked the people at the grocery store, no powdered sugar. They're like, "No, we don't have that in England." And anyway, then one day I happened across it at the store in a different aisle, like over by the cakes or something. Like it wasn't with the sugar, and it was not called powdered sugar or confectioner sugar. It was called icing sugar, and it came in a box, so you wouldn't really recognize it.
I buy powdered sugar in a box.
Well, I'm just saying,
a principled box powdered sugar user.
But I'm just saying, if you didn't spot it on the shelf as like, oh, there it is.
It's because there's really nothing as unwieldy as a bag of powdered sugar.
No, they always get holes.
And actually this is a challenge that I'm sure that all of you have noticed this, but do you think it's possible to open a tub of cocoa powder without getting it on the counter?
No, it's not possible.
You can't do it.
It's that foil. When you pull the foil, it just pops.
It's not even the foil. It's like after the foil. Anytime you open cocoa powder, you can't do it. It's like that time.
Mine.
Do you remember that time
it
that we
into like
spent
an OXO.
forever trying to sit down on our couch without letting the spring squeak?
No.
We were like, it was like how gently can you sit down? Can we make the couch be silent? When
I
this
don't
was
remember
many
this.
years ago, but
I don't remember it.
we spent a long time pursuing that end, and it wouldn't happen. But I think that cocoa powder's right up there in it. You just can't do it.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
And powdered sugar. And anyway, I had to take it back. I told all my friends and relatives, England has no powdered sugar.
Confessions of the temporary expat.
Like, edit that.
Expat mistakes.
That, guys. I know. Well, but people had told me, no, we don't have that in England. But it's because I was asking for something else.
It's funny,
though,
because
we've been talking for a long time.
England would have that.
Of course they would have it.
They do the icings more than many people.
But that's why I was so stumped. I was like, what do you guys do? Do you put it in the food processor and just blend until it's really, really, really fine?
That's so good. All right. Well, have yourself a happy New Year.
I'm going to go rejoice in my Christmas ornaments that are back in the basement.
Yeah, it's good that she rejoiced in that.
Yeah.
We'll give it to you.
Yeah.
All right. Happy New Year.
Okay.
Bye.
New St. Andrews College thanks you for listening.